Welcome to Chop and Brew, everyone. I am your host, videographer, editor, soundtrack composer, and international tour guide, Chip Walton. In this episode, we are off to Nashville, Tennessee, aka Music City. What are we doing there? We're going to the City Brew Off, which is a homebrew competition organized by the City Brewers, a homebrew club based in Nash Vegas. They invited me down to their competition, their 2013 MCBO, in the middle of last October 2013 to document their homebrew comp, to take part in judging, to guest judge alongside John Kimmick from The Alchemist, to document the award ceremony, and pretty much to just get a little crazy at their club crawl. All the things you're about to see in this episode. Being a fine Southern boy at heart, I certainly did not pass up the opportunity to leave what was already a frigid Twin Cities to go kick it for 3 days in a much warmer climate down south. So join me, let's hop on this southbound train and get down to Tennessee for the City Brew Off. Chop for chop, brew for brew. Oh, and there is some chop in this episode, man. There's some, I get some serious one-on-one time with a bit of down-home barbecue. You know I like that. The City Brew Off, MCBO, is one of the largest regional homebrew competitions in the southeastern United States. Last year's contest received nearly 450 entries, and within a few years it could become the largest homebrew contest in the area. John Malone is president of the City Brewers and competition coordinator for the MCBO.
This is the 18th annual City Brew Off. It was started by the original founders of the club as a competition for the regional homebrew clubs in the area to be able to compete. There were a few regional competitions that we're competing in, but we wanted to have a little bit more of a competition amongst ourselves. It was a lot more contentious. The clubs didn't get along as much, so they felt like a competition was the right way to go to kind of drive that. Now it's not as contentious a relationship between us and the other clubs. We've got a really good relationship with all the local clubs, even most of the regional clubs. Thus the reason the competition's gotten bigger and bigger every year. It's a lot bigger job than I was led to believe when I became the president. There are a lot of people, a lot of moving parts. There are the logistics of trying to, secure a location, make sure the location is accommodating to what you're trying to do, because a lot of places aren't really keen on judging beer at their facility. Some local laws may actually prohibit that. There is securing enough judges either in your club or regionally that will come to your competition and help out, because without judges you're not going to get a competition completed. You need to have a lot of local judges to be able to do a lot of the pre-judging, to get categories that are small and kind of tedious out of the way. Stewards, basically volunteers from your club who don't judge but are willing to help out, to help facilitate the judging. They do a lot of the paperwork and whatnot. And then there's a lot of man hours by competition coordinators, cellar masters, just trying to get everything organized and ready to go. You gotta have people that are really good at problem solving, because there's always something that comes up and there's always going to have to be a creative solution for that. One of the other things that you got to have a place that you can store your entries between the time they show up and the time you're going to judge them. A lot of facilities that you're going to actually compete at, like we have here, don't actually allow us to be here way in advance. We're here the day before the competition and then the 2 days of the competition. We're lucky that rebelbrewer.com, the owner and the general manager are members of our club. They allow us to use their cold room where they store their hops to store our beers. It's large enough, luckily, to fit all of our competition entries. And they allow us to use their facility, their admin offices, offices to be able to do a lot of the pre-judging as well. So there's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of hard work. You got to commit to it. For me, it ends up being about a 2.5 month process for 2 days of actual competition, not including the pre-judging. Because me, I'm a little bit of a control freak, and I do a lot of the stuff by myself because I figure if I know it's done right if I do it myself. So I handle a lot of talking to sponsors and trying to get sponsors to give us stuff for our raffles to kind of generate some revenue for the club. I do a lot of the online notifications for the different clubs in the area to know when registration opens, kind of status updates as to what we've judged so far.
Given all the inner workings, long hours, and potential headaches that come with coordinating a competition, in the end, what's in it for the club and its members?
What it does is it generates interest in having BJCP certified judges because they're entering more competitions. They want to learn how to judge. We allow our judges who aren't certified to sit with a certified judge to learn how to do the process so that they realize it's not all that complicated. It's just learning the different styles and being able to write down what you taste. But it also drives competition within the club. It drives people to brew. If they know the competition's coming up, they're more likely to brew more beer for that and try to time it out so where you get the freshest possible beer if you're doing an IPA for the competition. We try to do as many incentives as we can for the clubs. A lot of first-time brewers, a lot of times we will, as a club, pay for their first entry so that if they have a beer on tap, they don't want to pay the $7 entry fee just to have a judge tell them what's right or wrong with it. We give them the opportunity to enter the competition for free, basically. So we're comping an entry for them as a club. Or the competition itself for the club is a revenue generator now. I took over 2 years ago. This is my second year doing it, and actually organizing and organizing the competition. And it was basically a break-even or a slightly losing competition before that. I'm an accountant by nature, so I went in and we kind of looked at the books and seen what we were spending too much money on and cut down on some expenses. Also, we're able to generate more revenue through raffle sales, making sure, oddly enough, making sure that all the entries that were submitted actually were paid for can be an issue. I don't know that it was a huge issue in the past, but we definitely are much more on top of that now. To me, it's a way to get the club involved and get them doing stuff together. If you're not doing stuff together, what's the point of being a club? I mean, it allows us to kind of go, get together, brew a bunch, sit down and learn how to prejudge, and in theory, you can sit down and learn how to judge before we ever start prejudging. It's like, people get interested in doing it just because of that. So,
over the course of a few days, judges sampled and analyzed entries from all 28 BJCP categories. The highest scored beers, meads, and ciders were awarded Tennessee's finest bronze, silver, and gold. The evening's medalists representing clubs from Tennessee, Kentucky, Alabama, and Georgia. Being a Southern boy transplant myself, it was awesome to be so close to home and seeing homebrewers and homebrewing thrive as far as ingredients, community support, curiosity, and skill level.
In addition to all the other activities, every year we do a dinner and a guest speaker. Every year we do, well, lately we've done barbecue. It's kind of the Southern tradition around here, and we've hooked up with a really, really good caterer who's hooked us up. This year we had half chickens that were cut into dark and light meat and pulled pork. And then the guest speaker this year, we were lucky enough, we have a few contacts in the professional brewing world through our home brewers, and we were lucky enough to get John Kimmick from The Alchemist, who was oh so kind to bring 3 cases of Heady Topper cans that were canned 3 days prior to us opening them. They canned them at 10:30 on a Tuesday, and we drank them at about 10:30 on a Friday afternoon. We do that every year. We've had guests such as Gordon Strong. Last year we had Chad Jacobson from Crooked Stave out in Denver. And every year we try to find somebody that's homebrew centric, tends to be a professional brewer or someone who is high up in the home brewing ranks and who can provide us with enough information or some quality information to make it worth people's while to come and pay the $15 or $25 it costs to come to the dinner.
While it's true that most homebrew competitions are similar in structure, process, and mission, every contest is also unique in its own ways, be it with entries in customized style categories, guest speakers, or just taking place in a really cool location. One thing that makes the Music City Brew Off more than a competition is the club crawl, a great homebrew throwdown that kicks up after the awards ceremony.
Club crawl is our version of like NHC's club night. We were trying to figure out what to do. I'm gonna say it's 5 or 6 years ago. They were trying to figure out what to do after the awards ceremony, and we always showed up and we always did bottle shares and we always kind of brought some kegs, but it was mostly our club because we're all local, we're closer. And what we decided to do was we thought it was a good idea to invite all of the local clubs who wanted to participate to bring a tap box, a jockey box, and all the kegs or bottles that they want. And we set it up just like club night. If you want to do a theme, we haven't really gotten as far as club night for NHC, where it's really crazy and with outfits and elaborate setups. But you know, you have 6 tap jockey boxes and a bunch of kegs, and we sit around and we laugh, we drink, we talk, we BS with each other, and we nag the guys who won 7 or 8 medals, and try to find their beers so that we can drink them, and hopefully they brought beer with them and stuff. So it's a way to kind of get together, and we're here anyway, so we might as well have fun and enjoy ourselves. So it allows us the opportunity to do that. If you're in the area and you want to come, if your club wants to, we've got there's a club from Alabama that showed up this year that's going to have 3 or 4 kegs and a jockey box, and we're more than happy to give them some space and let them do what they want to do. If they want to bring kegs, we're more than happy to drink their beer. That's never going to be a problem. I personally think entering competition is kind of the next step in a lot of homebrewers' evolution. I think once you learn the basics and learn how to brew beer, that's what people call drinkable. The next step, if you don't have really experienced brewers in your area, is to send it in and let it be judged. To be quite honest, a lot of the times it's worth the $5 to $7 you're going to pay to get the comments back from judges. Our competition is very, very lucky. We have this year we have 6 national level judges and 30 to 32 certified BJCP judges who all give very good comments. They're not mean. They're going to give you as much feedback as they can, try to make all of the criticism very positive so that you know what's wrong with the beer in their opinion, and maybe even how to fix it at a homebrew level. Most of these guys are just homebrewers too who love judging beer as well. So the benefit, I think, is just the fact that you get that feedback from people that are unbiased. Your friends are going to tell you that your beer's good because you're giving them free beer, and they're not. And a lot of them, to be honest, just don't know what might be wrong with it. They just know that it's your beer, and they're going to try to be nice. These guys, they don't have any bias. They don't know what the beer. They're judging it blind. All they have is a bottle number and a style, and they're going to tell you what they taste and why they taste it and how to fix it possibly. So if you're at that level where you just don't know what's wrong with the beer, entering a competition is invaluable. If you're interested in entering the competition, we have this every year around late October, early November. Check out our website, musiccitybrewers.com. and you click on the Music City Brew Off link at the top of the page. A lot of that information is there. We kind of update it as the competition starts to roll around. Our Facebook page is just facebook.com/Music City Brewers, all one word. There's a lot of helpful information on there. That's the best thing I can tell people to do too, to be quite honest, is just find a local club in your area. They probably have a Facebook page. Join that, go to some club meetings, get to know people. And if you're in the Southeast region, and by the Southeast, I mean basically anything south of Cincinnati, the Ohio, Illinois area. We have people as far away as Kentucky, and we've had people from Arizona send entries in. So if you want to have a competition that has really good judges and is used to having a large number of entries to judge, the Music City Brew Off is about as good as any of them.
As you can tell from all the video I shot over the weekend, I had a ridiculously good time at the Music City Brew Off 2013 in Nashville. I got to earn a few judging points, I got to learn some new tricks and techniques from other judges and brewers, and I also met up with a lot of Chop and Brew diehard fans that were a blast to hang out with. So thanks to all the clubs and homebrewers that made it such a great weekend. If you're part of a homebrew club that's interested in organizing a competition in the future, I hope that this episode gives you some good food for thought. If you're a judge or a steward in the southeastern United States, or anywhere in the United States for that matter, just looking for a great reason to go to Music City, USA for a weekend, look up the Music City Brewers at musiccitybrewers.com. If you don't have a club of your own that you claim, as we've mentioned before, please feel free to enter your beer, mead, cider, and other fermentables under the Chop and Brew Homebrew Club. Our medal count is on the rise. If you earn a gold medal, I'm going to send you a shirt. If you win a bronze or a silver, I'm going to send you a 6-pack of stickers. I used to send everyone shirts, and then everybody started winning, and I started spending too much money on free shirts. So if you get a gold, you get a shirt. The other medals, you get stickers. You can also buy those t-shirts and stickers at chopandbrew.com. Click shop. That directly benefits Chop and Brew efforts moving forward. That was Charlie P's ears going crazy in the background. And another bit of awesome merch related goodness. Enough people asked for them that we finally made it happen. My boy Abstract Artemis made the Chop and Brew ringtones, so you can get the main Chop and Brew theme song from the beginning of the show and what we call the credits theme, Chop and Brew credits theme. You can get those at his Dire Life Records site. I'm going to link that if you go to chopandbrew.com, click Lanyap, and then look under links. It'll say Chop and Brew ringtones. Those are essentially name your own price. But remember, as you name your price, that any proceeds from that go directly to funding Abstract Artemis's quest for remaining awesome and conquering the world through rock and roll. Again, big thanks to John Malone and everyone at the Music City Brewers. Big thanks to Rebel Brewer for their effort and role in keeping MCBO awesome. Shout outs to the other members that helped with the brew off, including the Mid-State Brew Crew and the Clarksville Carboys. Big ups again to John Kimmick from The Alchemist. And most importantly, huge thanks to Tin West Catering for the awesome epic barbecue throwdown. I'm getting hungry again just thinking about it. So, enter competitions, start a competition, let us know how it goes, or if you need any resources, feel free to visit the Music City Brewers. John Malone is not stingy with his experiences and advice. So until the next episode, chop for chop, brew for brew, do what you do, and I will too. What's up, Chinese? You know you're about to get up in this blooper reel, kid. Why I never get to go on road trips, man? You go to Manhattan, you go to New York homebrew tours, you go to Nashville, Vegas, you go to Austin, Texas, and hang out with P-Berry, which is coming up, by the way. Why Charlie P don't ever get to go nowhere but a crummy dog park and get put up in my crate all day? Oh, man. Oh, poor Charlie Peanut. Can a brother just shoot an intro and an outro to an episode that he shot like 8 months ago? Sorry, John Malone.